Hi, friends. Today I'm thinking about the variety that exists all over the world and how the matrix is nothing else but a system of rules that we have agreed to follow and norms and beliefs. And it's something different depending on where in the world you live and in what time. And how seemingly we inhabit the same time space continuum. However, we live in such different ways based on our location. And let's say, for example, Muslim women have to be covered up from head to toe in their possession of the husband. In the Western culture, uh, we have all these billboards and media, and women are scantily clad and they can go out wearing whatever they want to. And it's not a problem. In Africa, there is still certain tribes where women can just have something around their waist, and apart from that, they can be totally naked. And men. And we're talking about living in the same day and age, right? It just depends where. And women have different rights. Uh, and there are different things that are acceptable or unacceptable. And the same goes for men. So it's really interesting. It's making me think of two documentaries that are very mind expanding. The one is called Babies, I think, and it's about I want to say it was four different babies born in different parts of the world and the way they're being raised and how different that is. And the other one that I love, and it has three parts, it's called Human. It's with interviews from people all over the world, and they're being asked the same questions. And the differences and answers are so fascinating. So the way I see it is that there isn't particularly like good or bad. I don't think there is a perfect. Uh, It's just different. And depending on where you are, uh, and when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So, you're not completely standing out like a sore thumb. Like, for example, if I went outside completely naked, uh, they would lock me up, right? Because the custom is to wear some kind of clothing that covers up your private areas, at least, right? Or if I go outside wearing some period wear, unless it's some costume event, if I do that every day, people would think, okay, she's a little strange. So, um, I think it's really interesting that we can kind of travel in time and go from one matrix to another if we simply travel, right? Because there's different foods that are normal and others that are not, depending on where people live, and different things to wear, and different customs that are right or not right, and allowed and not allowed. So, knowing that, instead of being afraid of it or thinking, oh, this is horrible, we can accept that we have accepted a lot of these things for ease and for the sense of belonging. And we have made certain agreements just to make life easier and we don't have to start all over again. Let's say, very basic examples, we have decided to call this thing with four legs and a top a table, and the bed a bed, uh, just so we can understand one another easier. Uh, so knowing that, we can start to examine our own personal matrix and how it came to be from the beliefs that we have inherited from our parents, school, culture, society where we live. And now having so much more access to different ways of living and being, and information about, how to do things and what is best and how other people do things, we can create our own personal matrix. And this is that process of individuation that now is very accelerated. Uh, and the more we individuate, the less we have that sense of belonging to a particular group, nation. Um, but at the same time, the more we seem to belong to ourselves and to everything, because we become aware that the belonging is always kind of elusive. But the deeper into ourselves we go, the more connected we feel with everything and everyone, realizing that we're the same on the inside. It's all source energy. But we have chosen to come and play this game of division for the sheer enjoyment and a variety of it. You know how when you were little and you like to play different characters, and you could be a cowboy, and then like you could be a robber, and you can be this and you can be that, and it's just to have those different experiences. So this is what we're doing collectively. And when we see it from that point of view, then the differences are not threatening, and as much as curious and interesting. And the freedom can be also overwhelming, because when we belong to a certain group, whether it is a nation, a culture, subculture, family, it's easy to adhere to the rules and live according to the way you're told. And it's kind of safe, like I know that I need to do this, this, and this, and this, and then I'll have that life. But when we start to individuate, then we have all of these options, and we have all these choices. And is this right? And is this wrong? And it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you can pick something that is not so good, but then the good part is that you can always change it. So, this is the process of self examination and personal freedom and individuation when you decide to re examine all of your beliefs and rules that you follow and where you inherited them from. And wherever they're not serving you, uh, create your own. And the risk involved is that it can make you very different from certain groups, cultures that you used to belong to. But the fact that a large group of people are doing a certain thing doesn't make it necessarily right. So if you have seen a better way a certain thing can be done that suits you more, you can adopt it, and then that large group of people can think you're crazy, but then this thing works better for you and you're happy. So that's all that matters. Uh, and that's why they say that with great freedom comes great responsibility, because you really have to take responsibility for everything. There's no one to blame anymore. You cannot say, well, I was in this group and they told me to do this, and I've been doing it, and now I can blame the government, and I can blame this, and I can blame that, and the um, economical structure, and but it's when we take personal responsibility, uh, we realize that we create everything, and we start to pay close attention to what it is that we're actually thinking and feeling, where we adopted these thoughts and beliefs. Are they serving us or not? And if they're not, how can we change them to change our personal matrix and the story that we live in? So if you wanted to do a little self-examination for yourself in certain areas and categories, I would suggest to get a journal and think what beliefs you have in those areas. What do you think about yourself? What do you think about other people? How do you think and feel about your body? And don't worry, I'm gonna list this in the description. How do you think and feel about your work? How do you think and feel about money? Is money easy to get, or you have to work really hard to get it? How do you feel about opportunities? How do you feel about religion? What are your thoughts on the environment? How do you think and feel about nature? How do you think and feel about men? How do you think and feel about women? How do you think and feel about God, universe, source, energy, whatever you want to call it? How do you think and feel about relationships? How do you think and feel about your health? And how do you think and feel about aging? How do you think about love? How do you think and feel about purpose? How do you think about success? How do you think and feel about money? How do you think and feel about joy?